Here are the top stories for today, May 16, 2022. The Commission on Elections is targeting to proclaim the 12 winning senators as well as party lists with guaranteed seats within the week. Presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. expressed his gratitude to all poll workers, teachers, and volunteers who helped during the elections. Motorists will have a slight reprieve as oil prices rolls back starting tomorrow. And mango lovers are in for a treat in Guimaras as the province holds an Eat All You Can Fest. Good day, I'm Marita Muahe. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Commission on Elections, sitting as the National Board of Canvassers or NBOC, is eyeing to proclaim senators and party list representatives this week. According to Comelec Commissioner George Garcia, winning senatorial candidates may be proclaimed on Wednesday, while party list groups with guaranteed seats may be proclaimed on Thursday.
Plano po natin ay magproklama ngayong Miyerkules ng hapon para sa mga nanalong 12 po. Hindi po tayo nag-iisip na magkaroon ng partial proclamation. Gusto po natin ay lahatan para wala nang maiiwan na mga maaaring mananalo ng mga kandidato natin para sa senador. Sa Huwebes naman po, plano natin sa bandang hapon makapagproklama ng mga party list. Ilan po, hindi naman lahatan, sapagkat may mga natitira pa nga pong COC. Unless dumating yung mga COC na yan, yung po naman sa mga party list natin na USEC, ang hope natin makapagproklama tayo sa may mga guaranteed seats na. Ibig sabihin, kung sino yung number 1 na lumalabas at hindi natuhan ng mga natitirang COC, and at the same time yung may mga 2% na. Kapag kami 2% ka na kasi more than 2% pa halimbawa, ikaw po may guaranteed na isang seat pa. Ngayon po, tsaka pa namin pag-uusapan kung paano yung dagdag na seats na tinatawag, na alokasyon, o kaya naman doon sa mga nasa ranking pa na nasa baba ng less than 2%. Pag-uusapan pa po yan ng Commission NBAC. Basta po maliwanag, yung may 2% o yung nakakauna, yan po ay may automatic na mga seats na, and therefore pwede na po namin iproklama po sila. Ngayon po,
meanwhile, the canvassing of votes for the president and vice presidential candidates will be done once Congress resumes session on May 23. The Senate is currently on standby for more election returns and certificates of canvass to determine the next president and vice president.
Yan po ay jurisdiction ng ating Kongreso. Base po sa ating pagkakaalam, ang Kongreso po ay magkukonvene ngayong darating na Mayo 23 upang simulan na po yung tinatawag na canvassing na katulad ng ginagawa po namin dito sa Commission Election bilang National Board of Canvassers para sa Senador at party list, at mukha pong sila ay matatapos ng hanggang June 3 doon sa kanilang pagka-canvass, and hopefully po matapos nila yung 173 COCs na katulad ng kinanvass namin for senators and party list, ay ganun din po ang bilang na ika-canvass po sa ating Kongreso, hopefully po matapos nila yan hanggang sa bago po sila mag-end ng kanilang sesyon.
Presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. thanked hundreds of thousands of teachers, poll workers, and volunteers who served in the historic May 9 elections. Marcos also saluted the entire Philippine National Police Armed Forces of the Philippines and all force multipliers who displayed utmost patience and bravery throughout the entire campaign and until the election day. Marcos said he is in favor of the 3,000 pesos increase in allowance of all teachers and non-teaching personnel who served as members of the Electoral Board. He also expressed hope that the compensations, honoraria, and other allowances of all teachers will be given before May 24. Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections said the additional honoraria for teachers will depend on the availability of funds and that the additional honoraria would not be lower than 2,000 pesos.
One first condition is the availability of funds. That's the first thing that we have to consider. Second, we have to make sure that any grant of the Commission for additional honoraria will be compliant with DBM rules, accounting rules, auditing rules, and COA rules.
Metro Manila and 85 other areas will remain under the lowest alert level 1 classification from May 16 to 31. Also placed under alert level 1 during the same period are the following provinces' highly urbanized cities and independent component cities. These are Abra, Apayao, Kalinga, Mountain Province, and Baguio City. Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Dagupan City. Batanes, Cagayan, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Santiago City. Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Tarlac, Zambales, Angeles City, Olongapo City. Batangas, Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, Lucena City, Marinduque, Oriental Mindoro, Romblon, Puerto Princesa City. Albay, Catanduanes, Naga City. Aklan, Capiz, Guimaras, Iloilo, Bacolod City, Iloilo City, Siquijor, Cebu City, Lapu-Lapu City, Mandaue City, Biliran, Eastern Samar, Southern Leyte, Ormoc City, Tacloban City. Zamboanga City, Bukidnon, Camiguin, Misamis Occidental, Misamis Oriental, Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan City, Davao City, Surigao del Sur, and Butuan City in Caraga. Component cities and municipalities are also placed under Alert Level 1. Meanwhile, areas placed under Alert Level 2 are Benguet, Ifugao, Quezon Province, Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Masbate, Sorsogon, Antique, Negros Occidental, Bohol, Cebu Province, Negros Oriental, Leyte, Northern Samar, Western Samar, Isabela City in Mindanao, Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga Sibugay, Lanao del Norte, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao Oriental, Davao de Oro, Davao Occidental, General Santos City, North Cotabato, Sarangani, Sultan Kudarat, South Cotabato, Agusan del Norte, Agusan del Sur, Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Basilan, Cotabato City, Lanao del Sur, Maguindanao, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Infectious disease expert Dr. Edsel Salvana today said that COVID-19 vaccines remain effective against new variants of the infection. The latest subvariant identified by health experts is the Omicron BA 1.12.1, which is said to be 25% more transmittable than the original variant. The Department of Health has reported 14 confirmed cases of the BA 1.12.1 subvariant in the Philippines. 2 are in Metro Manila and 12 in Palawan. 11 of the 12 cases in Palawan are tourists.
Gumagana naman yung ating interventions. Ang patuloy na paggamit ng mask ay nakakaprotekta sa atin at yung mga bakuna natin ay patuloy na nagpo-protect against severe disease. Katunayan, itong mga bagong cases ng BA.2.12.1 ay puro mild cases, in most cases nga asymptomatic. Kaya alam natin, bagamat kinakailangan talaga we remain vigilant, yung vaccines continue to protect us po.
National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon Jr. maintains that the Filipinos are now more aware and watchful of the deceptive tactics of the Communist Party of the Philippines. In a Facebook post, Esperon said any move by the CPP and its allies to instigate anarchy after the elections has failed. Earlier reports claimed that the CPP and its allies are planning to infiltrate electoral protest actions of the supporters of losing presidential aspirant Vice President Leni Robredo and other militant groups. He said these plans have been neutralized after Robredo called on her supporters to respect the will of the majority. Based on an official count, Robredo lost to presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. by a huge margin of about 17 million votes. Marcos garnered over 31 million votes, while Robredo only about 14 million. Esperon assured the public that the military is in control of order, especially against the NPA. Still ahead, the Philippine National Police provides security for post-election assemblies and other mass actions. Zamboanga City establishes checkpoints to contain a possible spread of African swine fever. We'll be back after a quick break. Keep it here on the PNA Newsroom.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed our lives for the worse. Lives and jobs were lost and economies reached a meltdown. Thanks to the arrival of safe and effective vaccines, we are one step closer to normalcy. It's time to do our part, get vaccinated for our safety and for our recovery.
You are there in that community, go there and have yourself vaccinated by any of the vaccines available. They are all potent, they are all effective.
I would like to appeal to all our kababayans, please get vaccinated against COVID-19 and be the government partner in preventing further spread of the disease. I encourage you to get vaccinated as soon as possible time. These vaccines are safe and they are the key to reopening our society. The need for international solidarity and cooperation cannot be made clearer than this pandemic, because everyone is safe. No one is safe globally until everybody is safe.
Vaccines work.
As protesters gathered to express their sentiments on the recently concluded national and local elections, the Philippine National Police or PNP says maximum tolerance are being implemented as it also respects their views. However, protesters are asked to follow the permit guidelines. Stephanie Sevillano tells us more.
On Friday, supporters flocked to the Thanksgiving event of Vice President Leni Robredo and her running mate Kiko Pangilinan in Ateneo de Manila University. While protesters held placards and banners to express their sentiments, the men and women of the National Capital Region Police Office or NCRPO maintained maximum tolerance, making these gatherings generally peaceful with no reported untoward incidents. In Western Visayas, police authorities also exercised maximum tolerance as rallies gathered in front of the old city hall to protest the election results on Friday. Police Regional Director Brigadier General Flynn Dongbos said commanders across the region have instructed to ensure that their personnel strictly follows operational procedures and maximum tolerance at all times. Among the rallies were youth groups, League of Filipino Students Anak Bayan, Labor Organization Kilusang Mayo Uno, and Urban Poor Group Kadamay. The Commission on Elections had earlier advised protesting groups to file a formal complaint regarding their claims instead. The PNP recorded at least 40 public assemblies staged between May 10 to 14 across the country. Police officer in charge, Lieutenant General Vicente Danao Jr. said the active deployment of police personnel in areas of convergence greatly contributed to maintaining peace and order in the identified areas. He also assured that the Philippine National Police will continue to monitor any mass gathering that may arise as the country is now transitioning to the next administration. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Stephanie Sevillano.
The Commission on Elections dismissed insinuations that the surge in mobile phone sales in Surigao del Sur is a result of vote buying. Acting Comelec spokesperson John Rex Laudianco said reports that mobile phones were sold out in city shopping malls in the towns of Tagbina, Barobo, and Lianga should not be linked to poll-related violations. He said escalation of purchases cannot even be considered a crime. Nevertheless, he assured the public that the Comelec is coordinating with the National Telecommunications Commission to investigate the incident. Laudianco said the PNP Cybercrime Division has yet to report incidents of vote buying in Surigao del Sur. Meanwhile, Laudianco said the numerous attempts to hack into the Comelec website is not a cause for concern, but something that needs to be prepared for in the elections. The Department of Information and Communications Technology foiled more than 20,000 cyber attack attempts before and during the May 9 elections. The Department of Budget and Management has released over 1 billion pesos to the Department of Health for the grant of sickness and death benefits to healthcare facility workers who were put at risk of COVID-19 in the line of duty for this year. Healthcare workers and non-HCWs who contracted mild or moderate COVID-19 infection will receive a compensation of 15,000 pesos. Those who fall under the severe or critical case will be compensated for 100,000 pesos. million pesos is allotted for the family of workers who died due to COVID-19 while in line of duty. The DBM will continue to ensure the timely and prudent approval of the budget releases to safeguard the welfare of the frontliners as the country bounces back from the impacts of the health crisis. In Zamboanga City, additional checkpoints have been established to prohibit the entry of live hogs, pork products, and byproducts to prevent the entry of African swine fever. This came as the office of the city veterinarian is waiting for the result of the confirmatory tests of 3 blood samples that tested positive for African swine fever. Checkpoints were established in Barangay Tagasilay and Licomo to monitor entry from Vitali District. One of the 3 blood samples came from Barangay Mangusu, also a part of Vitali District. Zamboanga Sibugay had earlier reported ASF cases in RT Lim, Titay, Buug, Alicia, and Ipil towns. Dr. Arnedo Agbayani, Assistant OC Vet Chief, does not foresee a shortage of meat products since a local shopping mall, which has its own ASF-free farm in Coronadal City, can supply up to 60% of the local market demand. Oil companies have announced a small rollback in fuel prices beginning tomorrow. Petrogas, Sea Oil, and Clean Fuel said their pump prices will be reduced by 40 centavos per liter for gasoline and 3 pesos and 10 centavos for diesel. Meanwhile, Sea Oil said their kerosene price will fall by 2 pesos and 10 centavos per liter. Earlier, UniOil forecasted that fuel prices would go down by 2 pesos and 90 centavos to 3 pesos per liter for diesel and 40 to 60 centavos per liter for gasoline. The passage and implementation since 2019 of the rice tariffication law has slashed prices of the country's staple food. President Rodrigo Duterte signed the RTL into law on February 14, 2019 as Republic Act 11203. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III noted the rice tariffication law opened up the Philippine rice market and reduced the price of rice for more than 100 million Filipinos. With rice made more affordable, the proportion of malnourished children and population at risk of hunger would be reduced by 2.8% and 15.4% respectively. Another key benefit of the RTL is the flow of billions of pesos in funds to the agriculture sector through the creation of the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund. Dominguez also said that with rice tariffication, the government was able to handle the COVID-19 crisis on the food security front. More stories from the newsroom. President Duterte urges this year's graduates of the Philippine Military Academy to become many things for all at the same time. The Duterte Legacy Caravan visits Aurora Province and Iligan City. Details ahead. Stay with the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte called on new graduates of the Philippine Military Academy to be many things at the same time, while ensuring they always remained true to their oath. During the graduation rites of the PMA Bagsikdiwa class of 2022, Duterte said although there is some degree of change or transformation among the cadets, they remain rooted to the basic concept of soldiering. He said the Academy has sufficiently prepared the 214 PMA graduates for all possibilities and all eventualities. Duterte also congratulated the top graduating cadets of the class who have shown remarkable leadership qualities and academic excellence. Duterte said he is hopeful that the next generation of Filipinos would accept the challenge of correcting the wrongs of corruption, red tape, illegal drugs, and crime.
Today, the man in uniform must be many things at the same time if he is to be relevant to the changing times. He must be both a warrior and a peacemaker, an arms bearer and a pencil pusher, skilled in the art of war and adept as a lifesaver, an offensive machine and a fierce defender, a tribune and a diplomat, a soldier and a civil servant. You can all be this if you want.
Mango lovers are in for a treat as tons of mangoes are made available to eat for free in this year's Manggahan Festival in the province of Guimaras. The festival kicked off at the provincial capital grounds on May 14 and will culminate on May 22. For 100 pesos, a guest is given the chance to consume unlimited numbers of the fruit in 30 minutes. The highest record is from a guest from Mindanao who consumed around 11 to 12 kilos in 30 minutes. For local guests in Western Visayas, the highest was 6 to 7 kilos. The Eat All You Can Feast started on May 14 to 15 and will continue on May 18 and May 20 to 22. Another highlight on May 22 is the Guimaras Pearl Anniversary Celebration, which will mark the 30th year since the island has become a full-fledged province. Hundreds of residents flocked to the Duterte Legacy Caravan in Aurora Province over the weekend. The caravan was simultaneously held in the municipalities of San Luis, Dingalan, and Baler. The Army's 91st Infantry Sinagtala Battalion, Aurora Police Provincial Office, and other agencies led the caravan by carrying out various assistance and informing the public of the landmark programs of the Duterte administration. During the event, a lecture on the Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program or ECLIP was also conducted to let the residents know about the benefits being offered by the government to rebel returnees. Other services offered were the distribution of gift packs and seedlings from the Provincial Agriculture Office as well as free haircuts. The Duterte Legacy Caravan went around Iligan City over the weekend and delivered government services to over 200 residents. More on this from Arafia Kirang.
The residents of Iligan City are thankful for the Duterte Legacy Caravan held in different places in the city. More than 20 government agencies and private organizations have delivered services and programs at Camp Tomas Kabili, where over 350 residents and former rebels have benefited. Maximo Moscada, a person with a disability, was just one of the beneficiaries of the caravan. He availed the free tooth extraction of the City Health Office and Department of Health as he experienced toothaches which hinders him in repairing electronic devices.
Okay ang ilang pagkuhan, ma'am. Mga kakalihukan, gano'n. Daghang salamat sa mga nagdumala aning proyekto. Nautunta nga Dagan pa yung matabangan nila.
The Iligan City Police Office led the said caravan together with the Department of Interior and Local Government, Department of Labor and Employment, Philippine Information Agency, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, Barangay Tipanoy and Kiwalan Council, 55th Engineer Brigade of the Philippine Army, Special Action Force, PNP Civil Security Group, JCI Kulintang Andayang-Dayang, Fraternal Order of Eagles Club, Alpha Phi Omega Fraternity, Rotary Club of Iligan Maria Cristina, Rotary Club of Iligan Bay, Rotary Club of Iligan South, Volunteers in Service, and Amay Pakpak Hospital. The Iligan City Police Station 1 also brought services in Barangay Luinab, where over 50 children were provided with free circumcision and haircut. Private sectors such as Recon Iligan Chapter, Campaign Against Drugs Youth Organization, Iligan Light and Power Incorporated, Heaven's Bakehouse Enterprises, and High Park Pension House also provided support.
Dako akong pasalamat sa atong kapulisan sa Station 1, no. Akong anak nga sigayon na naka-avail bitaw ani nga kuan nila programa. Para sa kuha, dako yun kayo ang natabang sa kuha, no, labi na sa akong anak. Kay kanang, syempre, kanang walay bayad.
The caravan was also held at City Public Plaza, which delivered services to about 250 residents. For the PNA Newsroom, Rafia Kiram of PIA Iligan City and Lanao del Norte.
Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The Commission on Elections is targeting to proclaim the 12 winning senators as well as party lists with guaranteed seats within the week. Presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. expressed his gratitude to all poll workers, teachers, and volunteers who helped during the elections. Motorists will have a slight reprieve as oil prices rolls back starting tomorrow. And mango lovers are in for a treat in Guimaras as the province holds an Eat All You Can Fest. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. You may also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. We tell stories that inspire change. I'm Marita Muaje. Stay safe. Have a good day.